Hello, welcome to SkillBuilders. Today we're going to look at creating alternative storage for our kernel zone. The default storage is held under rpool varshare zones, which is part of the operating system root pool. But you can in fact put it anywhere you like, and that's what we're going to do today. One thing you can do, if you're happy to keep the default location, you can actually specify an alternative size. So when you do the zone ADM install of the zone, you could put -x install size equals 45G, for example, and that will give you 45 gigabytes. But I'm going to use a completely separate location. So I'd start out by creating something in some storage somewhere. So over on the right hand side here, I'm creating a little data set that I'm going to use to hold my kernel zone emulated volumes that I'm going to use for my root pools. And then within that, I'm going to create an emulated volume of 150 gigabytes called KZone2 vol. I've used the -s option again to make sure it's sparsely allocated and doesn't use up more space than it needs. It will appear to be 150 gigs to the actual kernel zone. Okay, I'm just going to check that the device name has been created. I'm going to be using the raw device name that's associated with the emulated volume to define that within my zone configuration, and that looks fine. Now I can begin configuring the zone, which I'm calling KZone2, and I use create -t. An ordinary create would just create a native zone, and I want a kernel one, so that's known as a branded zone, and the branded zone type is sys-Solaris KZ. A normal default storage area will have been assigned to this, and if I do an info there, I can actually see the storage device. I'm going to get rid of that storage device. So remove device ID equals 0, and then I'm going to add the device I just created. Set ID equals 0, and then set match equals and the device name, which is dev zvol rdsk rpool kzones and KZone2 vol. Set boot pry equals 0 to make sure it becomes the boot device, and then end verify commit and exit. So not really very much to it. Now I can install my zone. And it will use the new storage device. So we'll let that install and we'll come back to it a little bit later. Then I can show you, once I've logged in, what the storage device looks like. My zone is now installed, as we can see on the terminal window there. So I'm going to boot it and then log into the console straight away. The Z login -C denotes that I want to log in on the console, so I can see all the boot messages. And away it goes. And that will now carry on booting for a few minutes. Once it's finished booting, it will go into a configuration stage where I'll have to enter the details such as the host name, IP address. Okay. What you can see on the screen now are the service manifest being read in for the system services, known as the Service Management Facility, SMF. We'll come back very shortly and carry on with the rest of the tutorial.